today with us is one of the efficient higher education leader, Dr. Raj Kamal Yadav. Sir, welcome to FELA Talks.
Thank you so much for having us.
Sir, while talking about education, I would firstly start with what is your opinion on Indian education structure? How we differ from the other countries? What is different in us?
If you talk about difference, there are certain things which are, which have been lacking, but I'm very pleased to say that with the new education policy, we have tried to, cater almost everything which has been missing. The one striking difference which is very eminent and which I can feel personally is it's kind of orientation which we have towards studies, because if you see the kind of education which we have got and you would have studied in school and colleges, our main focus is on getting education per se. On the other side, if you go to the neighboring countries or certain other countries where they are more oriented towards how to use this knowledge and how to use that education in terms of occupation, in terms of doing something with your life. And so that kind of role comes very late in our education system. Many countries have, they offer you a chance to get some vocational training or some vocational education right after your what we call 10 plus 2 kind of thing. So that was one thing. And since we have a kind of say for example, if we talk about medical education, so the kind of patient load which you have in your colleges and college OPDs gives you a very different, and you can say the sigma of that exposure is very high. On the other side, that is not there in the other educational sectors if you see in other countries. So they are more theoretical perspective, and then since they spend more time on theory and to understand things, I think that is one striking difference which we have tried to cover in our new education policy.
Okay, so sir, what do you feel that where we lag behind? What are the challenges in our education system?
Challenges per se, it will be very difficult to point out challenges, I would say, but things which we need to work upon are you can very well know that in say for instance in India there are 3 kind of systems which run in the society. One is government supported and government kind of sponsored, you say, where we talk about primary education, and higher secondary education, those kind of things. Then there is another sector which runs is where we generally term is at private education, where you have private schools on the same lines. And then there are third thing is colleges. In the same category comes in colleges also. You have government colleges, you have some private colleges. Although there are bodies to control everything, for in the state we have 2 different kind of boards which run these things. If you go on the central level, there's CBSE, ICSE. If you go university, there are many things, UGC and university system. This entire system of education is bifurcated that way. So all these systems have different not challenges but things to look upon and things to help actually, or you can say points which if we can cater and which if we can work on that, then our output will be much more increased.
True, sir. And talking about advancement in the education sector, our Indian government had come up with national education policy in 2020. So talking about that, what do you think, how to implement it? Because there are various places in India where it is not getting implemented. What do you think about the implementation of NEP?
See, policy has been rolled out. It has been done with a lot of consultation with almost every stakeholder which is associated in any means in this field. It has deliberated on many number of issues which was a long time, kind of, you can term it as requirement, you can term it as demand, or basically I would say need of the society. So those things has been catered and they have been integrated into the system. And so if you come to the policy, see, there is you have to understand the timelines of every implementation work, because it has come out very recently. It will take some time to go to the deepest level of implementation where it has to go right on the ground, but it will be done. Things has been started to do it in the right direction. For example, if I'd say, like, a lot of implementation and lot of thrust has been given towards practical side of knowledge, like what you learn you should be able to do. I'm talking in terms of primary education, where a lot of exposure has been given to students, like how things are done, like those experiments, labs, which I'm sure we have understood the concept of lab only when we came in class 9th or 11th kind of thing.
Yes.
Before that, lab was a foreign word for us, almost for everybody who has studied in that period of time. So those trust now to implement everything, because there are a number of things which has to be implemented. I think all the governments and everybody, all those people who are supposed to implement these things, whether it is us or other officers, there is a kind of priority list that what has to be done first, and then what will come second, what will come third. So work is in progress, and I'm sure maybe by, say, end of this session and start of next session, things will be in right place.
So as NEP speaks about skill development, about removing the language barriers, and then also about international campuses set up. So how do you think that the language barrier thing, I would certainly mention it, that how will it be a major advantage for an education sector?
See, language barrier was one of the biggest hindrances, because a student can be a very bright student but could be lacking in language proficiency per se. So now if we provide a stuff or reading material to somebody who is having a good IQ, studious, meritorious, and determined to study in his own language, you will boost his confidence or her confidence and level of output by many folds. So by just evaluating this one aspect of education, I'm sure this will be a game changing thing, because we see many people, many students who are good, but they are just because their medium has been, now previously if you go to any engineering college, medical college, it will be very hard for you to find books in your own vernacular language, or even if you find, they are translated versions, so which are very difficult to understand and very literature biased kind of things. But on the other hand, when they are written in English, it is kind of a in perspective of their own language terms. So that way I think it will be more helpful.
So as you said that the language barrier can be resolved, so the next question arises, sir, that everyone thinks that in professional world it's all about English, it's all about a certain language. So a person who has studied in Marathi or in Bengali or any other language, so what do you think that what are their career grounds if we look it in a vast perspective?
See, there are many factors which determine this kind of version which we are talking. Now, if you're in an English news channel, you cannot say that I studied in Hindi and Marathi. That's your own choice. You can't go to an English news channel and say that I don't know English. You can't do that. Same thing goes with Hindi, same thing goes with Marathi. But the bottom line is that if you have right set of skills, you will not go unnoticed. If you have right set of communication skills, be it Hindi, be it Marathi, if you have original ideas, if you have original creativity which can solve a problem, which can resolve things, then it doesn't matter whether you speak in English. There are many best examples are the organizations like UNO, UN, where there are ample number of people who are sitting there. Nobody knows if they'll talk informally, and if English is out of the scene, it will be hard to communicate with any, but still they communicate in their own language, you get translated, and then we come out with wonderful resolutions. WHO is one such organization. There are many number of organizations. So same perspective if you put it in our own country, whether you are from any region, if you have original ideas, if you have right set of skill set with you, I don't think language can be a barrier anymore.
Sir, I hope that your thought process comes in everyone's mind, and people who are literally getting unemployed because of their language thing, I just hope that your kind of thought process comes in everyone's mind. Now, sir, talking about NEP, what do you think? What are the major challenges that we are facing when it comes to NEP?
Again, I would not like to use the word challenges. Why I'm telling you, because it's not a challenge, it's a task which has to be done.
True.
Challenges when we don't have a way forward, then it is a challenge. The challenge has been already been solved by the NEP. Now only thing is to implement it. As I said earlier, implementation will take time, not that long, but it will take time because it's a step by step process. Now you cannot change the entire system in one day. If you try to do it, you will create such a big rumble and rubble in the entire system that those ripple effect will be too much high, and it will cost us in a much more way. So there are no more challenges. Only task ahead is to work harder and to get those things which has been selected and drafted and publicized and came into policy sphere, to put those things on ground.
So now I would like to mention one fact, that how Sir has been an inspiration to thousands of people. He has cracked the UPSC exam in 2013 in one go. It is an inspiration. It is truly an inspiration to thousands of students, young generations who are literally conquering to become an IAS officer. Sir, I came to know that you were a veterinary doctor, and from that journey, you came to become an IAS officer. You were studying in London, and now you are in India holding this reputed position. So, what inspired you to come to this journey?
There are many factors which can inspire anybody, and so is the case with me. I did my schooling from a school which was, meant to produce, armed forces officers kind of thing. So I did my schooling from Sainik School, Lucknow. So the initial and childhood dream was to be in army or in armed forces, that kind of job. When you couldn't do that, now the only alternative which was, available for me or people with my kind of mindset and with my kind of, goal orientation, was to come into a service which can give you the same exact amount of satisfaction and, goals to your own life. And the ultimate choice was to appear for civil services, I guess. I think.
Sir, so you wanted to serve the nation. Yes, exactly. Sir, then I would like to ask you that what was the success mantra? What was your success mantra?
See, UPSC is a very different kind of, ball game altogether. First and foremost things which I think is to have a long-term motivation. And why I say this is because it's a long cycle. And the peculiarity about this cycle is that once you get your final result, if you qualify for the interview and you appear in the interview, and God forbid if anything goes as you have not expected, then you have very less time to again come into the same zone to appear for the prelims again. You hardly get 1 or 2 months. So having long-term motivation is very, very, very important, because you have to go in 3 different phases of examination. You have to appear for prelims, you have to appear for mains, and then you have to qualify for your interview, get selected in interview, and then your results come. So in this long cycle, at any point of time, if you lose your motivation, then it will be very, very difficult.
Sir, it has been really well said by you that self-motivation is one of the key towards success. So demotivation and everything should be kept aside, and motivating ourselves is one of the key. So what is your message to the new generation, to the young ones who want to become an IAS officer?
I would say 3 things basically. First thing is that you should choose to set your foot in this journey only because you want it. It's not because of what that's a good job, it's a good position, your dad said, your mom said, your family said, your friends have become like. If it is your choice and you want to do it, you will certainly be able to do it, and that way you will keep your motivation. Second thing is, there are no shortcuts. There are no one night success kind of thing. You have to work really, really hard because it's a very competitive exam, and you have to excel in terms of getting selected. You have to beat a lot of people. So it's not about college studies and classroom studies. Getting 90% is my goal. You get 90%, quite a possibility you will still not get selected because the cutoff is at 91%. So getting that, having that mindset that okay, I will do this at this level, I'll reach, and then it is done for me, is never going to help you in any way. So it's a continuous studies and hard work is second thing. And third thing is that a very aptly said poem in Hindi by Gopal Das Nirji ke things might not go as you have planned, as it has not gone for me. Finally God has landed me at a good place, but still as he rightly said that कुछ सपनों के मर जाने से जीवन नहीं मरा करता है. तो if you not reached it, it's a journey basically. And one thing I can assure you about this journey, that once you will finish this journey, whether successful or not getting what you have desired, but still you will come out as a very good human being, a learned human being, and knowing a lot of many things which will help you to reach somewhere at a very good position in your job profile, in your career. That I can assure you.
It was a really very beautiful line shared by Dr. Raj Kamal Yadav, sir. Sir, one last question for you. What is your take? What is your opinion on FELA Foundation? What would you like to share about FELA Foundation, sir?
I have recently, came to know about this, and I think it's a wonderful initiative because, first thing about anything is to recognize that there is something which need to be done. If you don't do that, you are nowhere because you don't have a way forward to that. What are the things we are going to work on? So one good thing is that you have brought a lot of same-minded people from same field on one platform who can share their ideas, because when you are working in a field, only then you will come to know that what are the things which are actually missing to make you more proficient and more output giving kind of situation. It's not about that how system has been run and what are our goals. That is a different thing. But when you work into something, you will know that what is needed more. So I think with that perspective, FELA Foundation has come up with a very good platform where a lot of people from education sector are coming together, and I'm sure they can discuss, they can bring forward some beautiful ideas which will be really, really helpful to develop our education sector in the entire country, and could be a big think tank for next education policy kind of thing.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much for taking out a small time from your precious schedule for us. Thank you so much, sir.